This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
Enforcement Directorate lands at the Raj Niwas to meet the Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry. They were in for continuous 20 minutes. Ragging culprit John David is sent behind bars for life by the Supreme Court. After 14 years comes the closure of a Navarra's family. Karunanidhi files 2 defamation cases against Amma, taking exception to remarks fearing violence on poll day and alleging non-payment to security personnel. The Madras High Court exempts Amma from appearing in person in the 1992 gifts case. Charges haven't been framed yet. The PSLV C-16 takes off successfully, while a CAG report says most images by ISRO satellites were unused. And MDMK leader Vaiko is out to target the Sri Lankan president once again, demands Rajapaksa be tried for war crimes. Welcome to the news tonight on NDTV Hindu with me, Evelyn Matthew. This 9 o'clock update comes to you with news from across the state, the city and the nation. Some of the other top stories we're tracking at this hour. Sanjay Chandra is asked to step down as Unitech Wireless chairman as his bail plea along with 4 accused is rejected. A fresh controversy hits the Bhushans, this time over preferential land allotment by Mayawati. Shanti Bhushan's son is fighting a case against her. The 5-year-old whose kidnapping stunned the nation is alive, well and back home in Mumbai. The top cop in charge calls it a lucky escape. And BlackBerry's playbook is out, but will it pose a challenge to the Apple's iPad? Our top story tonight, the Union Territory of Puducherry witnessed high drama today thanks to a high-level probe going on by the Enforcement Directorate in the region. Initially, the crowds outside the Raj Niwas were sent into a frenzy when the public relation officer denied any visits by the agency, but after conflicting reports over the presence of investigating officials this evening, it was confirmed by the personal secretary to Mr. Iqbal Singh that the officials did come almost for 20 minutes from the Enforcement Directorate as part of the investigation process. This is in relation to the probe around the Lieutenant Governor Iqbal Singh's links with Hassan Ali Khan, and a day after the go-ahead given by the Prime Minister's office was obtained as well. Mr. Singh's name has cropped up during questioning of a Bihar-based Congress leader in connection with recommendations for a passport to Hassan Ali Khan. Mr. Singh has admitted as well as to having given such a recommendation, but claimed he never knew him. Earlier in the day, about 30 agitated persons took to the streets of Puducherry demanding Singh's resignation, but were then arrested. They were also sending out telegrams to the President and the Prime Minister asking them to take action against the official, promising to continue agitations till he is removed. First up, here's what the PRO to Mr. Singh had to say to the media as soon as the team arrived at the Lieutenant Governor's office.
Yeah, not a personal. Just I'm doing public relation work in.
So just one question. A lot of sensitive issues were raised.
No anymore. Please. No anymore.
Over the past 2 hours.
Sorry. Extremely sorry. No anymore. I'm extremely sorry.
So just one word from you. Just an official.
I'm sorry.
No. So one word if you can.
Extremely sorry. Please.
So just a sense of again whether or not if you can confirm the ED officials visited.
Sorry. Extremely sorry. I'm not concerned to. Please. That's all.
Well, joining us over the phone line right now is our reporter Ashmit Kumar, who joins us from Puducherry. Ashmit, is time really ticking away for Mr. Iqbal Singh? Could he submit his resignation anytime soon enough?
Well, Evan, at this point, we're getting mixed news flow again. We're getting, to begin with, after that announcement by the PRO, we in fact had the principal secretary to the Lieutenant Governor come out and then admit that the ED officials were indeed, in fact, there at around 5 o'clock, and they did visit Raj Niwas. Now, although the response that we got was very vague and ambiguous, because he went on to say that he was sure that the ED officials came, but he wasn't sure if they interacted with the Lieutenant Governor. That's the statement that came from the private secretary. But looking beyond that, now the private secretary himself conceded that the ED officials were there within the premises of the Raj Bhavan for not more than 20 minutes. What that basically means is that it's difficult to conduct a complex question, an interrogation of somebody of the post of the Lieutenant Governor within the span of just 20 minutes. So what analysts at this point are saying is that it is not, it'll be naive to rule out the ED officials revisiting the Lieutenant Governor tomorrow. That's one. The second thing, of course, the one point that you highlighted, of course, is resignation. Now, a lot of pressure is building up. In fact, analysts are saying now that the Lieutenant Governor is eyeing an easy and a respectable exit route at this point, and the options, in fact, are limited in front of him. In fact, if I were to quote some of the sources who are telling us again, this paints an extreme picture. But then again, just to give some perspective to it, some of the sources are telling us that, in fact, we might see a resignation even tonight. I am right outside here at Raj Bhavan. I will be tracking those developments. Resignation tonight is, again, as I said, painting an extreme picture. But then again, that appears to be on the cards. Is one of the different possibilities, different permutations, combinations at this point. And a day of action is what we're expecting tomorrow. The ED officials, one, are expected to come back. Number two is, of course, the fact that the resignation, a big question mark over that and over the future actions of the Lieutenant Governor. So again, a lot of questions which need answers, and hopefully we'll have them by tomorrow. We'll, of course, be tracking all of it right here.
Right, Ashmit, has Mr. Iqbal Singh left the Raj Niwas after that visit? What's the mood like outside there?
Well, the mood has been pretty much the same since the morning. It has been very hush-hush. It has been very secretive. Very few details have been divulged to the media. And even the ones that have actually come out, it's been only crisp and to the point, and not really divulging beyond, not providing any room for speculation here. That's the sense coming in from the officials. They have been very tight-lipped. In fact, some of our closest sources are finding it difficult to dig out information at this point. So that has been the norm throughout the day. We have our we have been following this development very carefully over the past few days. We have been tracking the movement, but then again, it's very difficult to get any sense out of these movements outside of the few remarks that were made by the private secretary, which again, which by themselves were very big and ambiguous. So again, it has been hush-hush, largely hush-hush. A secretive atmosphere has been maintained. The officials have been very tight-lipped. Very little information has been divulged. So we are basically at the mercy of the little information that has been released. And of course, some informed guesses is what analysts are making at this point.
Right. Thanks very much indeed, Ashmit, for joining us with your inputs on that big story. We'll obviously keep coming back to you if there are any more of developments. Moving on, in a remarkable judgment, after almost 14 years, the Supreme Court pronounced a life sentence for a man who ragged his college mate in the state and then killed him and cut up his body. The court has now ordered the culprit, John David, to surrender immediately or face arrest. David was earlier found guilty by a trial court and sentenced to life, but the Madras High Court had then overturned the ruling. The victim in this case, Navarasa, was the son of a former Vice-Chancellor of the Madras University. His disfigured remains were found by the outskirts of Chennai a day after he went missing. The verdict today came on an appeal by the government of Tamil Nadu. And NDTV's chief legal correspondent Arunachalam Vaidyanathan, who is following this development at the Supreme Court in Delhi, spoke to the Council for the state of Tamil Nadu. Here's what he had to say about the verdict today.
Supreme Court today reversed the Madras High Court judgment and handed over life sentence to John David, who ragged and killed Navarsu, his classmate. Joining us today is Tamil Nadu Council, Mr. Dhananjayan. Dhananjayan, what happens now?
The Supreme Court today confirmed the conviction given by the trial court to the accused John David, and also reversed the order of the acquittal by the High Court.
So what happens now? He will be immediately arrested?
And also directed the accused should be arrested immediately.
So he will be taken into custody by the
Tamil Nadu taken by the police.
So what is the main basically argument, and also is it basically ragging case?
In fact, because of ragging he was killed. John David was in the habit of ragging the juniors and extracting works from them. This deceased, that son of Vice Chancellor, refused to do his work. Then he was taken into his room and was murdered by John David because he refused to do his homeworks.
But today, what are the reasons given by the Supreme Court in reversing the Madras High Court judgment?
Mainly on the basis of the confession given by the accused. The head of the deceased was recovered, and also the blood stains were found in the suitcase in which the John David carried the torso of the Navarasa, the deceased.
Secondly, sir, this happened in November 1996, almost 14 years and 5 months. It's getting justice. Don't you think it's a justice delayed, particularly for the parents who had a high position at the time? He also has to wait for such a long time.
There are no comments.
Anyway, that was Mr. Dhananjayan who was saying that, of course, even after 14 years, there is light for justice. In New Delhi, Arunachalam Vaidyanathan for NDTV.
Moving on, the politics after polling day and up to the counting crescendo continues between the two Dravidian heavyweights in the state. This time, the Chief Minister has filed 2 defamation cases against his main opposition leader, J.J. Lalitha, at the Principal Sessions Court here in the city. In his petition, he says that Jayalalitha's statements had defamed him, as well as other high officials of the state government, not once but twice. Once on the eve of polling day, the second time on polling day itself. Karunanidhi referred to Jayalalitha's remarks on union and state ministers conspiring violence within AIADMK strongholds on polling day, while in another petition, the DMK chief quoted that his arch-rival had accused him of denying daily wages to the CRPF personnel, thus drawing disrepute to him and higher officials.
The first one is about the giving that is daily batter to the paramilitary forces, in which she has categorically stated that the amount given to the paramilitary forces is of no use, and this misuse statement has been given by her only to tarnish the image of the Honorable Chief Minister. For this also another case has been filed before the learned principal judge at Chennai today. Both the matters are pending before the concerned court.
Meanwhile, in the other matters with the judiciary for Amma, the Madras High Court today granted her an exemption from appearance with regard to the 1992 birthday gift case. The court observed that charges could not be framed against her on the 11th of May as the main revision petition in the case was pending. This comes as a huge sigh of relief for Ms. Jayalalitha, as the CBI court had refused to discharge her on the 12th of April in the same case, involving a receipt of 2 crore rupees worth demand drafts and checks from her party cadres on the occasion of her birthday. The CBI court asked her and 2 of her associates to appear before it on the 11th of May for framing charges. The main revision petition of Jayalalitha is posted next for the 29th of June.
Honorable Amma need not appear before the CBI court on 11/5/2011 and also till the pendency of the criminal revision petition before the Madras High Court. And the Honorable Justice K.N. Basha posted the matter to 29/6/2009 for the final disposal of the criminal revision filed by Honorable Amma. Honorable Amma has taken the plea that Section 11 of Prevention of Corruption Act is not at all attracted. It is only a customary gift made by the party cadres to their leader, not to the Chief Minister. These presentations nothing to do with discharge of official duty in the capacity of the Chief Minister.
Now, in addition to all of that brewing for Amma, the AIADMK's General Secretary played Kavalan to actor Vijay today, strongly condemning the attack on the actor's house by unidentified men. She alleged that the vandalizing act came in the wake of Vijay's fans working for the AIADMK's victory for the assembly elections this summer. Ms. Jayalalitha also charged that there was a total breakdown of law and order in the state, with murders of 7 people reported in the last 15 days in Madurai alone. Worried over the violence going unchecked, she urged the Election Commission to take into cognizance the deteriorating law and order situation in Tamil Nadu. Meanwhile, the man left out of the rat race to the polls, the MDMK's Vaiko, has decided to lead an agitation against the Sri Lankan president's open threat to the United Nations report on genocide in the island nation. The recently leaked report indicted the Mahinda Rajapaksa regime for war crimes. In a statement released by the General Secretary of the MDMK today, he said he would make these demands when he takes to the streets next week. Tamil Nationalist Movement leader P. Nedumaran has promised to join in support as well. Up ahead on the news tonight, it's a homecoming that a 5-year-old will never forget. Amchi Mumbai celebrates along with the virtual world.